What's up, guys? It's Connor here, bringing you some more tips and tricks in Modern Warfare 2. Hopefully to help you guys either get your first nuke or just get more nukes if you already can get a nuke. This could help you get some more nukes, or maybe you just kind of wanted to see what class I use for what situations. So I did make a best nuke class for if you want to use an assault rifle. So I'll have that link in the description if you haven't seen it yet. Or it's like 2 videos before this one, so just go check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. And this one is going to be my favorite rushing class to get a nuke. The favorite if you want to get fast nukes or just some more exciting nukes, this is typically the way to go, and so hopefully this could help you out a little bit. So let's get right into it. My favorite class is this right here. What you're looking at, the UMP silencer, spaz with FMJ, the Semtex, the stuns, sleight of hand, stopping power, ninja. And once again, it doesn't matter what the heck your death streak is, because you will not go on a death streak, right guys? And so, anyway, there's actually some variation. Of course, again, I want to give you guys some different options. For your main gun, for your rushing gun, I strongly recommend the UMP. I don't really recommend using any other the submachine guns, just because UMP is so good. So much better than the other submachine guns. If you do want to use another submachine gun, the P90 is decent. I mean, they're all pretty decent. The MP5 and Mini Uzi you can also use pretty well, but I definitely go with the UMP. Always put silencer on it, always, especially in your rushing class, because you're going to be behind the enemy spawn the whole time, and you're going to want to have silencer so they can't see you. Now for your secondary, this is where it's really user preference. I use the spaz with FMJ, just because that's my favorite gun, and when I'm rushing, I'm typically in close quarters, so a lot of times my spaz will come in handy for all those like buildings and different close quarter combat you get into. The spaz is a really good gun for that. But if you're not a big fan of shotguns, or you don't like the pump action shotguns, I do recommend the striker. If you want to use a shotgun where you can spray some more, the striker is really good. Or even if you're afraid you'll run out of bullets, because we don't use scavenger on this class, then I do recommend either the M93 Raffica or the PP2000. Those are both extremely good guns. If you use the PP2000, put silencer on it so you can still stay off the enemy map and stay off the radar. But if you use the M93, I recommend red dot sight. So that's really up to you. I'd probably use the PP2000 if I were you, if you didn't want to use a shotgun, because you can still get some decent long-range kills in there, and you can stick silencer on it, and it's still actually pretty good. So I do recommend one of those 3 or 4, actually, either the striker or the spaz if you're using a shotgun, or the PP2000 or M93 Raffica if you want to use a secondary like that, and more automatic 3-round burst secondary. Now, since we're rushing back into the enemy spawn, I recommend Semtex, because most of the time I throw my Semtex right off my start. Like when the game first starts, I'll rush to a spot and throw the Semtex where I know the enemy team is going to be running. So that's why I use the Semtex. You can use Claymore also, which can be helpful. If you're in the enemy spawn and you know there's a certain spot they always like to run past in the spawn, you can just sit the Claymore down, and a lot of times that'll get you a kill. I always recommend stun, because the flash grenade just takes forever to throw. And a lot of times when you get into the enemy spawn, you're going to be like in close quarters. You're going to be really having to move quickly, and so the stun is best so you can get it out as fast as you can and still disorient the enemy enough for you to go kill them. Now, a lot of people like Marathon, and I used to be that way. I used to always use Marathon on my rushing classes, and I just now switched over to sleight of hand, because I did like being able to run all the time. But when you think about it, most of the time you're in the enemy spawn, and you're not going to actually be sprinting the whole time. There's going to be a lot more of you sprint to the enemy spawn, and then more like creeping around, shooting people in the back type thing. So I do recommend sleight of hand. You can use scavenger if you don't want to run out of bullets and don't want to have to pick up an enemy gun. Scavenger can always work as well, but I really like sleight of hand, because most of the time when I die in the enemy spawn, it's either me trying to shoot someone from too far away, and that's just me being stupid, or I end up running out of bullets and can't reload fast enough. So I really like sleight of hand in this situation. Helps you reload quickly, and you can aim down your sights faster. So when you do run around the corner and see an enemy, you can quickly pull up your gun, and since you have a UMP, it pulls up even quicker than if an enemy has an assault rifle. Just gives you the first jump on the enemy and helps you out a ton. So that's why I use sleight of hand. Like I said, if you have to use Marathon, you can try it. Or if you want scavenger because you don't want to have to pick up an enemy gun when you run out of bullets, you can throw on scavenger. But I strongly recommend sleight of hand. Stopping power and ninja are not quite musts, especially not stopping power. But ninja, I'm just going to go to that first. I strongly recommend ninja. Don't use anything else, guys. When you're in the enemy spawn, you do not want them hearing you. Ninja Pro is definitely the way to go for the third perk. Now for the second perk, you can, if you're having trouble with the enemy always putting down UAVs, then I'd go with cold-blooded. But for the most part, try to stick with stopping power. Stopping power just helps you get the quicker kills on the enemy, which can help you out a ton. Cold-blooded, like I said, if they're calling in a ton of kill streaks or UAVs, then cold-blooded could be the way to go. But I try stopping power first, and if you are like continually dying by enemies with UAVs or kill streaks, then maybe throw on cold-blooded. But anyway, I will have a link to my rushing nuke somewhere up in one of the corners, probably the top left corner. I have a rushing nuke on Rundown that I'll put the link up to using this exact class, and you'll see how I do it, how I have to end up picking up an assault rifle because I ran out of bullets with the UMP, and it's just a really good video kind of showing you how I was thinking and why I did different things. So make sure you go check that out, try this class out, and let me know if it works. I'll see you guys when I see ya. Thanks for watching.